Hope you enjoy this 20-minute morning session. This class has been designed to wake up the body, to give us a moment to tune into how we're feeling physically and in our minds and in our hearts, of course, and approach everything that we do in the practice with a sense of curiosity and kindness, and then hold that with us through the day ahead. So important to be kind and gentle with ourselves, especially at the moment. So I hope you will take a little time, hop on your mat, and just tune in to how you are today. Take care. So we're going to start lying down, and in this practice, because it's a morning practice, we're going to take an intention of being very gentle with ourselves, allowing ourselves just to be curious and just to tune in, check in with how we're all feeling this morning, in your heart, in your mind, in your body. So let's just take the feet as wide as the mat to begin and drop your knees into the middle. Let your arms rest by the side of the body. Just taking a moment to arrive here for your practice. Pressing the pause button on any distracting thoughts, concerns, or to-do lists. Allowing all those things just to sit by the side of the mat. And giving yourself this time now to be completely present for your practice and completely present with who you are and how you are this morning. Just being aware of your breathing, expansive, full inhalations, that gentle engagement through the midline of the body as you're letting the breath go. And noticing too the little pauses in between, at the end of your inhalation and at the end of your exhalation. Noticing how your body is this morning. Maybe you're aware of somewhere that feels like it's holding or gripping right now. Or maybe you're aware of somewhere feeling bright and energized already. Just noticing. And then when you're ready, let's bring the feet towards each other in the middle of the mat. And we're going to lift the right leg off the mat and just start to make circles with your right hip. And you can make these circles quite tiny, or they can be broader. You might like to bring your knee right up in close to your chest or have it further away. Just noticing how the movement is in your right hip today. And let's go in the other direction as well. Notice what might be different when you change directions without judging that. Noticing perhaps if the movement's a little clunkier or smoother. And then let's do the same on the left side. So taking the left foot up off the mat and making circles from the left hip now. And again, choose what size and shape feels best for this hip today. They don't have to be perfectly symmetrical. They don't have to be any particular size. This session is just about inquiring, being curious, and being gentle. Let's go the other way. Aware of what might be different when you change directions. Again, maybe there's a little more smoothness or a little more clunkiness. Or maybe it's exactly the same. And keeping that movement going, let's lift the right foot off the mat and we'll let the right leg join in too. So now we're making circles with the whole pelvis. Feeling that gentle engagement of the abdominal wall as you move, so we're supporting the lumbar spine. And then going the opposite way. And then rest your feet back on the floor again. We'll take the arms wide, a little lower than shoulder height, so we're not bringing tension into the shoulders. Lift the feet off the mat and let's drop the knees over to the right side now. You might gaze towards the ceiling, or you might direct your gaze to the left if that's okay for your neck right now. You might like to straighten out your left leg and bring your big toe to your right hand, or perhaps it's going to feel better for you just to keep your legs bent right now. We'll coax the right shoulder towards the floor as we open up a little more space through the left side of the rib cage to allow that breath to be expansive and full. Every time you're breathing out, noticing the hip points coming together and the bottom ribs coming together as the breath leaves you. And witness those pauses in your breathing. And then when you're ready, return to center, and then we'll drop the knees to the left side this time. So again, you might choose to gaze towards the ceiling or direct your gaze to the right. You might choose to straighten out your right leg if you like. Bring your big toe to your left hand. Or maybe keep both your knees bent, taking it gently, not forcing or pushing anything. And let's coax the right shoulder a little closer to the earth as we open up a little more space through the right side of the rib cage to breathe deeply and freely. And then when you're ready, come back to center again. So let's now gather up your right leg, letting your left foot just dangle off the mat for a moment. We're going to bring the right thigh in towards the chest and then hold onto your right leg with your right hand. And now we're going to take the left hand and press that into the left thigh. So the shin of the left leg is probably about parallel to the floor. And we're working with resistance here. So try and get a sense of bringing your left thigh into the chest as you press against it with your left hand and your left arm. And we're guiding the right thigh in as well. This is a really lovely reset for the sacroiliac joint. Sometimes when we sleep, we can put our bodies in a position that makes the SI a little grouchy when we wake up in the morning. I know that's certainly true for me. So this is a really nice way of just resetting that SI joint. And then let's change it over. So now we'll gather up the left leg, bringing that in towards the chest, and then let your left hand take custody of that leg. We're going to let the right hand press into the right thigh. So again, your right shin is probably about parallel to the floor, and we're working with resistance here. So intentionally bringing your right thigh in towards the chest and pressing against it with the right hand and the right arm, and drawing the left thigh in too. And then when you're ready, let's release from this. And we're just going to drop the knees open wide for a moment, coming into butterfly pose and letting your hands rest on your tummy. Noticing the space between the lower back and the floor is a little more pronounced now as we're in the tiniest of back bends here. And offering softness through the whole of the abdomen, into the hip creases, into the inner thighs. And each time you're breathing out, sensing an engagement through the pelvic floor, the hip points coming together, the bottom ribs coming together as the breath leaves you. And then that beautiful expansive softness of the inhalation as it arrives. And let's bring the knees back together again now. We'll have a little separation between the feet as we set up for desk pose next. Some people like to have their feet parallel. Some people like to splay the feet out a little. So see what's more comfortable for you. And then when you're ready, let's breathe in and lift the hips and the chest into the air. Your arms might come overhead or wide. Start to exhale and then gently bring yourself back down to our starting position. So breathing in, lifting the hips and the chest off the mat, your arms overhead or wide. Start to breathe out and then gently peel the spine down. I like to have a picture in my mind as I move with desk pose of peeling a label off a jam jar, going very gently and slowly and treating my spine the same way as I move through desk pose in and out. When you come into your next elevation, let's stay in the pose for a little bit. We'll bring our arms back down by the side of the body now. So let's really feel into the 3 points of support in your feet, under the big toe, under the pinky, and under the heel. Really pressing down very evenly. And you'll notice when you do that, your arches lift a little. And it calls for more engagement then through the calves, through the thighs. Let's fire up the glutes and the abdominal wall and really get a sense of sharing the load of this pose very evenly throughout the whole body. So we're not making this all about the lower back. Take one more breath in here. And then as you exhale, we'll gently, gently roll down little by little to the mat. Lift your feet off the mat. You might like to rock or roll. You might like to bring your knees right up into the chest. You might even like to curl up a little. Just follow your body's lead. See what it feels like doing. And then when you're ready, let's roll over to the right side. And we'll come onto all fours now and set up for cat pose. So in cat pose, I'm a bit of a stickler for supporting the shoulders for all weight-bearing poses, but I think it's really great when we can establish this in cat pose with an awareness of what we're doing with our shoulders. So we soften into the elbows a little bit of a bend there, and then scoop the elbow tips towards each other. And then you'll notice your elbow creases are facing the top end of the mat. So let's lengthen out now from the crown to the tailbone and draw the belly in. And we'll breathe in here in cat. And then as you exhale, move to cow pose, tucking the chin and tailbone under. Return to cat again now, lifting your gaze this time. And then move on to child's pose as you exhale. Return to cat again, finding a neutral spine there. Move to cow as you breathe out. Return to cat on your next breath in, a little back bend as you lift the gaze. And then moving on to child's pose as you let your breath go. Come back to cat again. And then when you exhale, let's send the left leg down the back of the mat. Lift the leg up as you breathe in and bring the knee into the chest on exhale. And we'll extend the leg again. You might add your opposite arm into the mix if you want to. And let's flex the left foot now. Pushing out through the heel, bring your neck in line with the spine. And let's bring our attention to the pelvis, evening up a little more across the pelvis. That might mean lowering your extended leg just a little to make that happen. Lengthen through the whole body from the heel to the opposite shoulder or fingertips. And then return to your cat pose again. Take an exhale to child's pose. Let all of your breath go, and we'll take a little bit of movement here through the neck, through the back, just paying attention again, being curious, asking the question, where am I holding tension now? Where can I bring some gentle movement to bring a sense of sukha, sweetness? And then come back to cat again, breathing in. As you exhale, send your right leg down the back of the mat, lifting the leg up as you breathe in, and then bring your knee into the chest on exhale. Extending again, maybe adding your opposite arm into the mix if you want to, flexing your foot, holding here. So again, let's bring attention to the pelvis, evening up there. That might mean lowering your extended leg a little. Your neck comes in line with the spine. We lengthen out from the heel to the opposite shoulder or fingertips. Return to cat pose again now. And then when you're ready, let's lift to downward dog. We're going to just ease our way into the shape. Little gentle movement, maybe shaking out your head, maybe pedaling through your feet. Find your way to the symmetry of downward dog, lifting the hips high, bringing your neck in line with the spine. And let's soften into the elbows and knees. Invite a sense of upward moving energy. Imagine you can draw energy out of the earth, up the arms, up the sides of the back to the sacrum. And you might even imagine a sling dropping from the ceiling, supporting you under the hips, inviting the hips just a little higher. And then when you're ready, walk your feet towards your hands, coming into a forward fold. Take a half lift as you breathe in next, and then fold again. Let's perhaps take the hands around the opposite elbows, or maybe rest your hands on your mat or on your legs. You might pedal through the knees a little bit. We're just looking for a little bit more depth in our Uttanasana, our forward fold, without forcing or pushing anything. And then from here, let's separate the feet out wide. You might want to go sideways on your mat if you like. So probably the feet are 60 or 70 centimeters apart. See what feels okay for you. We'll take the hands on top of the knees now. Take a half lift as we lengthen out the spine. Exhale and fold, letting all your breath go. Take the hands to the hips, draw the elbow tips back, lead with the heart. Take your arms wide as you breathe in, welcoming the day ahead. As you exhale, fold through the middle, and then we're going to twist to the left, wrapping the arms around the body and the left leg. Take your arms wide as you come up again, breathing in. Fold through the middle, and then we're going to twist to the right. Again, wrapping the arms around yourself. Continuing with this, really opening the chest broadly each time you rise, and we fold through the middle before twisting to the side each time. And whichever side you arrive on next, we're going to hold there. And as you do that, you might want to find a little bit more depth in this. So maybe soften your knees a little bit if your hamstrings are feeling quite tight. Let the head be heavy, let the neck be soft. And let your exhales invite you around into the twist a little more. No forcing, no pushing. When you're ready, come up to standing again, taking the arms wide, opening your heart up for the day ahead. And then fold through the middle, moving to the other side. We're going to hold here for a little bit. Follow your exhales around to invite a little bit more depth. Maybe soften your knees if that helps a bit. And then from here, let's let the hands find the midline between your feet. We'll take a half lift again, breathing in. Exhale and fold. Take the hands to the hips, draw the elbow tips back, lead with the heart, take the arms wide, and we'll sweep the arms behind the body now, interlacing the fingers, lifting the gaze, opening through the throat, finding length through the back of the neck, the chest open wide and ready to invite this beautiful day into our souls. And then release your arms when you're ready. You might want to just give your shoulders a little bit of a wriggle. And we'll bring the feet together, standing with our hands at the heart in Anjali Mudra. Bringing the base of your hands into the sternum, connecting to the root of the heart, to your absolute essence. And feeling the earth underneath your feet. Sensing the crown floating over the heart over the tailbone over the earth. aware of the subtle flow of prana through the central channel of the body, bringing all the energy centers into balance and harmony as you start your day. And then witnessing all the fingertips resting against each other as we bring harmony to the elements of the body: fire, breath, space, earth, and water. Setting an intention to remain curious, to remain gentle with yourself today, honoring you exactly as you are, showing up for this day ahead in absolute authenticity. We'll close our class now by chanting the sound of Om together. We'll open the arms wide as we breathe in, and then hands to heart as we chant. Thank you for practicing with me today, everyone. Have a beautiful day ahead. Namaste.